Welcome back to Deadball TV, everybody. U.S. has been knocked out in the round of 16 by the Dutch by a score of 3-1. We're going to be discussing the game here. I just want all of you to let your thoughts be known in the comments, but specifically, I want to hear y'all's thoughts on if this World Cup was successful for the U.S. You know, getting out of the knockout or getting out of the group stage, getting to the knockouts, and losing to a good Dutch side. Is that enough for you guys to consider this a success? We'll be answering that question ourselves later, but I just want to hear what you guys think. I'm trying to get a pulse check on that. But let's start with the game itself. Jake, why don't you kick us off? What do you think about the result overall? You think it was the scoreline was a fair reflection of how the game went?
I did. I was very nervous going into this game that the U.S. wouldn't be able to score anything, and they really showed that they couldn't create any real chances. I don't care what the hell the commentators were saying. Our chances were quite piss poor, and Haji Wright's fluke goal.
That was a fluke goal.
Was I mean, if that's the best we can do, then I'm kind of nervous about 2026.
Oh, we'll be better by 2026. But I would say,
yeah.
I would say in the first 10 minutes we had those two really good chances, and then gradually as the game progressed, the quality of chance kind of got worse and worse as the match went on. I mean, Connor, what do you think? I mean, you watched it too. Do you think that 3-1 was fair for how the boys played?
I think that it was a stark reminder of where we sit and the pedigree that we lack, and what it's like to face actual European competition in knockout football. NBA playoffs, completely different style of basketball. NBA or NFL playoff football, completely different style of football. We're out of the group stage now. Dorothy, Toto, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore, and we aren't. We aren't. Welcome.
Mm-hmm.
All of our weaknesses were exposed. We have a couple of bright spots on that team, and the Netherlands and their game plan and their players were able to effectively shut them down, which leaves us with the rest of the guys to produce, and we saw that they couldn't do it. So, yeah, I do definitely think there are some positive takeaways
For sure.
there. But yeah, I thought the scoreline was justified. And you know what? If you sim this game on FIFA, that's what comes out. That's what comes out. I was watching this, and that's why I'm not heartbroken right now. I'm disappointed because of the hype and because of pride. But this is accurate. This is accurate. This is how things should have shaken out. Percentage wise. This is Vegas odds right here.
I feel like as a U.S. fan, the more disappointed you are, the more that you bought into the hype. I would say, you were drinking the Kool-Aid. If you're in tears right now because you thought that we were actually going to the semifinals, like Alexi Lawless had us in his bracket. I mean, you've been on Twitter too much, and I hate to say it, but we have yet to beat a good European team under Greg Berhalter. And I don't know if this is Greg Berhalter's last game in charge. I don't know. I saw reports that no matter what happened in this World Cup, he was stepping aside. We'll see if that's true, I guess, in the next couple of days. But when we did predictions, I said the only European team that we beat is Northern Ireland under Greg Berhalter.
Mm-hmm.
We tied a
good competition,
abysmal Welsh team, a horrible Welsh team. Yeah, I think we did well in that 0-0 draw against England, but I really think that gave a lot of the fan base some false hope. And I'm a little disturbed how much of a consensus there was that the U.S. was going to win this game. I really feel like, and maybe it's because Mexico's my team, so I'm not and just deep into this whole U.S. echo chamber. But I thought that this really wasn't in question. I thought it was gonna be a closer game. I thought it was gonna be maybe 1-0, 2-1. But yeah, I feel like this is a completely accurate reflection of a Greg Berhalter-led U.S. team. And honestly, I think even if we have a different manager, I'm not sure that the talent is there for us to do better than what happened, bouncing down the round 16. And hey, only CONCACAF team to do it. In that sense, this World Cup is a dub. Second youngest team in the World Cup. That's another dub. But dude, I mean, people saying we're gonna win 2-0. I don't understand how that can be anything short of bias. And I have to say real quick, we'll talk about the game again. The combined U.S.-Dutch starting 11s that were coming out were embarrassing. Embarrassing.
Yeah.
I don't ever let me turn myself down. I don't ever want to see anyone say Serginho Dest is better than Denzel Dumfries ever again, because that was shameful. some people had 2 Dutchmen in the combined 11. Did it look like that today? No, sir. No, sir. Do better. That's all I got to say about that.
Well, they don't know. These people don't know. And
No,
look,
but some of them are trying to be people who legitimately cover the game. People that are actually like invested in the game.
welcome.
That's a problem for me.
Welcome to reality. I will
Oh, and
say
I
I
know the Twitter
myself.
handles.
Oh yeah. Well, let them know. Let them know. We've been entirely too peaceful out here. This game was accurately represented where both teams stand. I hope this does a world of good in the FIFA rankings. But yeah, this is what a serious Dutch team looks like. What a serious European team looks like in competition. And welcome to reality. Welcome to reality, folks. Yeah, that combined Dutch USA 11 that was going around, I didn't even look at it. I didn't pay it any credence. I was like,
Good.
I'm not. It's because it's not. Like, how can you expect? Well, okay, so one of the bright spots from this whole situation is that I saw the culture here grow in a way that I haven't seen it in a while. Like the pop off that we've had, especially on TikTok, YouTube, like social medias, it's been really cool. It's been really cool. Great. But a product of that is that people who don't really know are going to hop in and expect more from this team than they really, can reasonably come to a conclusion of. You know what I'm saying? Like I've always had a great barometer, even on years where I'm not paying attention. I've got a great barometer because my family pays attention. My dad will be the first one to give me a swift reality check, right? It's difficult for the layperson who maybe their parents don't know anything about that and they don't pay specific attention. Maybe they were kind of a burgeoning fan in 2014. We missed 2018. Then we come back now, 2022. Their parents don't really care. They don't really have many friends, but they themselves are hype about it. They see these videos. They see these expectations. They, run away with it. That's understandable. Like I'm sorry, like that those starting 11s aren't going to be accurate. And no,
But that's not
you
really who
guys,
I'm talking
I
to.
understand. I'm just saying that's my bright spot, and my heart goes out to those people, right? Like it's cool that happened. It just sucks that this is the way that we had to go out. I wish we would have had at least one open play goal that didn't come off of a horrific, stroke of bad luck for the Netherlands, good luck for the US to go in. If we got away with one open play goal, massive success. If Timothy Weah's shot from the outside goes in, brilliant. Yeah. Solid win for us.
I'm fine with no open play goal from the US because I think that really highlights the key area that we need true help in. We haven't had a 9 since maybe ever.
No,
like
Clint Dempsey.
Like,
Clint Dempsey would put it
sure.
Was the best one for sure, but I think we can do a lot better, especially with this current generation coming up. And there's got to be some random kid over in Europe that has a dual U.S. citizenship or has a one side of their family's U.S. and hopefully they saw this and they're like, okay, then maybe I can step it up and play for the U.S.
Shit, dude. If this team had Brian McBride, I think that we would even have done better. But the 9s that we decided to bring to this tournament is just shameful,
bro. When he put Haji right in, oh my!
Oh, the touch was.
Oh,
dude, he has no other option.
God.
Let's be a little more structured here. We can do the negatives.
Yeah,
first,
sorry.
If we want to, because we're already like kind of going into that. Haji Wright and Ferreira just again kind of like non-factors, and like I know Haji Wright gets the goal, but I don't want to see anybody celebrating that. It's complete luck. It's probably one of the luckiest goals I've ever seen in a World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
It's not intentional at all. It just hits his foot. If anything, who crossed it in? Was it Aronson? Weah?
I don't remember.
I can't remember, but it might have been
a deflection.
But
I thought it was Musa.
Okay. Well, obviously we have no idea who did it, but the point is, I feel like that person should honestly get more credit for what happened by just putting a whip and cross in, as opposed to Haji Wright. And then Ferreira did absolutely nothing the entire 45.
Ghosted 45 minutes entirely,
dude.
It was 10
Can I ask really quick? What
Sure.
do you think was worse, the inclusion of Ferreira or the What the
Omission?
absence of Cameron,
Yeah.
the omission of Cameron Carter-Vickers.
Oh, Ferreira, I think.
You think Ferreira?
I think
Okay.
Ferreira. For
Yeah,
sure.
Cool.
yeah. At least Zimmerman can kind of do some stuff, so he can
Yeah,
kind of fill that
Zimmerman's
gap in between.
competent
Yeah,
for the most part.
he is.
None of what happened. Well, I would say the first goal was probably his mistake, his responsibility.
He
I would
probably
say
has
that was probably on him.
He probably has some culpability. I mean, look, his distribution was pretty bad today. It's been
Yeah.
bad. I mean, forever. It's always been bad. That's just what you're gonna have to deal with when you have Zimmerman in the lineup. But he is good in the air and he is good defensively. And 1-on-1, he's decent. He's serviceable. Ferreira literally does not do anything.
Adds nothing.
He was
No
dropping
value.
deep. He was next to the center backs to receive the ball. I'm not sure if that's Greg's instruction or what, but it's inexcusable. You're
The
not
dude
doing the
was
team any
walking.
favors. Yes. And the hustle side isn't even there. Like, at least be an energizer bunny if you're going to do that. If you're just going to take up a
Be
spot.
sprinting the whole time.
Yes. Yeah.
Brutal.
So I don't know.
It was Pulisic's assist, apparently.
Yes, it was. Okay, there we go.
Oh,
There we go.
Bitch, you didn't know that. Don't front.
Yes, I did.
No,
I
you
knew he was
didn't.
one of 6 possible players.
Shit, him and Musa look very similar to me. So
Yeah, just it's easy to get those guys confused.
Physically,
Pulisic,
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
You got the same haircut.
They got the same haircut about.
What do you guys think happened to Tyler Adams today? Because I would say he looked like he got shut down. And I was upset about that. We said if we had
I think
any
he was
possibility
nervous.
in this midfield, it would have to come, or in this game, it would have to come from our midfield. And I would say our midfield looked like one of the negatives today. We got manhandled.
I mean, Weston McKennie was pretty shit this game as well. Musa, I thought, was decent. Tyler Adams, I mean,
Musa
Jake, I
was
said this during the stream. I feel like our midfield is not built to play from behind. It is a very good midfield when the game is tied and when we are winning. When we are winning, Tyler Adams is a machine.
they're basically all 3 defensive midfielders in my mind.
Well, McKinney's not a defensive midfielder.
But that's how they play for the U.S., I feel like, to your point, where they play a lot better together as a unit if they're up or if they're tied.
Yeah.
I feel going
In that sense, yes.
forward when they're down and they're looking for a goal, they can't do anything together, I feel like.
Yeah. Well, and really the big problem here was the fact that we go behind. And the commentators were saying during the game, they were like, I mean, they've been here before. Remember when we were in Honduras and we were down 1-0? I'm like, why are you telling people this? This is not the same. We're not playing Honduras anymore.
If you want you want good commentary, turn off your fucking any of the American white commentators on like Fox Sports, any of that bullshit, turn it off. Either learn Spanish, put the subtitles on, or mute it and put on your favorite YouTube live stream. We're working on that. We're trying. I swear to God, once the monetization comes in, we'll help with that. These guys don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They have no idea. They have no idea. The Hispanic guys, they know. They know. It's better. It's more hype. These white guys, I listen to them. I mean,
It's more real. They're more grounded in reality.
Well, dude, you can't have alumni of the team covering the team.
You can't.
Because it's beyond biased.
It's beyond biased. But even the Latino commentators, they're biased, but they'll still give credit where it's due. Like the Boca announcers, they'll give credit to River when they score. 90% of the fucking commentators in Argentina are River fans, and they'll give credence to Boca. Like it just, even the Argentine commentators will give credit to other teams out there. Like it is out there. Good coverage is out there. Americans will not give you that. We just don't have the culture. We don't have players who are ready for that. I think Tim Howard is doing a good job of that. Alexi Lalas is a liability. Clint Dempsey is pretty good. But I mean, what did you guys say? What were the score predictions from our American commentators here?
I don't know what their score predictions were.
I thought you guys were saying
I'm kind of scared to. I'm scared.
I mean,
I know Alexi Lalas had obviously the U.S. winning. I don't know the goal, dude. A lot of people had the U.S. winning. You
know what is so ironic about that? We had the U.S. winning, and yet every single video, every single piece of propaganda had the Miracle movie as our main driving force in the videos.
Yeah.
That was the through line, was that we're the underdogs and we're going to do this. You cannot say in one turn of phrase that we are going to win and also we're the underdogs. Like, that is just, what is that? It's a paradox. Like, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
maybe we come from behind and win, but like, we can't, like, I don't know. In my head, I'm
It's like an oxymoron, yeah. We're like
it's
the
an
favored
oxymoron.
underdogs.
Yeah, what the fuck is that? Like, yeah, I guess, US will use our spirit to galvanize, and yeah, we played a decent game, but I mean,
Our friendship.
what is this, fucking Care Bears? No. And we didn't play badly today. I don't want you to think that. I don't want you to think that I'm ragging on the US or that I expected them to win. I'm sat flatly in the middle.
That's why none of us are in tears right now, because none of us
Yes.
really expected us to win. Like, and
No.
it was a decent showing in some regard, but tactically, the Dutch had it right.
Yeah.
They said, okay, first off, we're going to let your center backs play the ball because they can't. And we're just going to let you keep crossing into the box because you're not going to get it in there over
Yeah,
Nathan Ake and
that
Virgil van
was
Dijk and
No.
Timber. You're not going to
No.
do that.
Yeah.
They said, we're comfortable with that. Do it as much as you want. And you know what? We don't trust you guys on the counter. So
Yeah.
we are going to counter you with Depay, with Bergwijn, even though he was shocking. Gakpo, we're just going to take you guys on.
Yeah.
And the U.S. defense struggled with that. They struggled with it a lot. Marking was an issue. I thought Van Gaal, this is the difference between Greg Berhalter, a guy who failed to play club football in the Swedish second division, and a man who has won the Champions League.
Yeah.
That is it. I think managers are extremely important. They can fuck up. Hansi Flick, massive L. Kasper Joman, massive L this World Cup. But knockout football is a little different. Like you said, that's when you see in the NBA. That's when you see like the Eric Spoelstras, those type of coaches. They just do it Rick Carlisle. Like, they're just a little bit better at making their team outperform. And Greg Berhalter, when it comes down to it, he just doesn't have it like that. But
He's not that guy.
The three of us are not surprised. I don't think most of the U.S. fan base is surprised by that.
No.
But I think where they are a bit surprised is maybe they thought that our talent and our performance in the group stage was going to be enough to overcome this Dutch team, who, maybe hot take, they looked like they were kind of in cruise control the entire game.
This game?
They kind of looked like they were in cruise control. A couple moments they were slipping, and I think the goal was like a complete lack of awareness by, I think, Bergwijn again to like mark the left side of the field, which leaves Pulisic wide open. But for the most part, I mean, I don't think they were sweating that much. I think it was a comfortable Dutch win.
It was calm and collected from the Dutch.
It was calm and collected. I wouldn't say it was outright. I think there were definitely spots where we made them sweat and we had the pressure on them, but they stuck to their game plan. I would say they hit their runner's stride. You know what I'm saying? Like, they weren't exactly comfortable, but they were in control. They were in control there.
They knew what
I
the
think
game
we had to
plan
make them work
was.
for it. Exactly. They knew what the game plan was.
Yes.
They were organized. They were organized, and it wasn't I don't think it was a lazy win.
They were tactically trained,
work,
and they knew exactly how to cut us up, and they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
They stuck to the plan. Exactly. Who would you guys say was the man of the match?
Dumfries for me. I mean, 2 assists and a goal.
Yeah. I guess that scoreline, it works out.
Dumfries is the easy one from the stats, and he probably should be man of the match. But I think like maybe underdog for that. And Connor, you'll love this. I would say Nathan Ake, dude. He shut Tim Weah down. Oh my Lord. Shut that man down. He had that side clamped.
He was really good in the air too.
Yes. He had a couple like really good last ditch clearances. The entire Dutch back line looks solid. Like the way that they have managed to make that back line a threatening attacking force while also covering for Daley Blind being 47 years old is remarkable.
It is wild. And I was telling Jack, I didn't even realize that De Ligt wasn't even in the starting lineup until he was subbed on. I was like, oh, shit. They don't even have one of their better guys, I feel like, out there.
Because he's a liability. That fit into our game plan. And they were like, we're not going to give you that.
Probably.
We're not going to give you that. We were counting on that. Didn't happen. And it is what it is. It is what it is. Dude, I'm still stuck on the Ferreira thing. When I saw him out there, I saw that stupid fucking haircut. I was like, oh.
Didn't you give it an A+?
No, dude. Not today. Today, that haircut's dumb as shit.
Switching.
Yeah, I am switching.
Yeah, it changes
today,
week from week.
Today he looks like a fucking. I do that shit every morning when I wake up. Sometimes I look, I'm like, damn, what a
Yeah,
fuck.
it's
Fuck that Turkish guy that cut my hair. Then every once in a while, I'm like, damn,
That
that's
Turkish
my
guy.
boy. That
Yeah.
Turkish guy.
Who do you guys think played well for the U.S. today?
I thought Turner played fairly well.
He was good.
All
I thought he was good.
considering,
Played as
he had
well
a
as he
couple
could.
of key saves.
That double save he had in Depay was really good.
I can't say anyone on the back line had an exceptional game.
I think Musa was pretty good.
Musa was probably the only midfielder that I thought was
Tim
not
Ream made good
exposed.
decisions.
Yeah, Tim Ream did make good decisions.
He made good decisions in there.
He was culpable a little bit for some of those as well. I mean, being the most experienced center back, I would hope that he would show some leadership skills out there and keep the back line in check. But
yeah,
which maybe
yeah,
he was.
guess.
I mean, I don't know. We don't hear what the players are saying out there.
I mean, the third goal, like Anthony Robinson, I literally have no idea who he's trying to mark. And you can see Tim Ream look at him, like turn around and look at him like, dude, that was your man. And then Jedi tries to do the same thing. I'm like, no, dude, you were wrong. You were wrong.
Yeah.
There's already 3 Americans marking one guy. You left Dumfries completely wide open.
Yeah.
And what did I say? I said, this has got to go back post because I saw Dumfries just standing there. And then Blinn whips it in. Great cross. Dumfries, back post, goal. So I thought Jedi was pretty poor today. Serginho Dest had a couple he was great for the first 15 minutes. Offensively, he was great.
And then he was just getting frustrated.
Yeah.
Serginho Dest played exactly like we expected him to today. Tell me right now, if you give a player analysis for him, if your scout goes out, watches this guy play, brings a report back, he played just like that today. Yeah. Going forward, great, incredible, pretty solid one-on-one play. Brilliant. Definitely. I mean, he had a dribble that looked like prime Messi today.
Yeah.
But then defensively, I mean,
yeah, he's a liability on the defense. His shooting ability, downright piss poor.
The shooting ability of the entire team is not where it needs to be.
Yeah. Giovanni Reyna skied a couple of them. Okay, so check this out. Giovanni Reyna, you give him the 2 previous games worth of game time, I think he has a competent game today. Because the drive was there.
Yeah, he probably wasn't warm.
The skill is there. The dude's not warm. He's just going out there playing with 100% heart and 0% chemistry with this team. He's probably pissed off at every single one of those guys who started in front of him, which that's a good drive to have, but you can't go in there with that kind of chemistry. And you know what? That's not on Reyna. That's on Greg. I don't know. I don't know where to start him. I don't know the answer to that puzzle right now. I'm coming to you right now saying I don't know where he fits in. I don't know how to do that, but he needs to be there because to put him on as a superstar 6-man sort of energy there, let's see if he can do something. You can't do that and expect that of him when you haven't given him any game time. Less than 20 minutes of game time in these previous matches. I don't even know what he's doing in training. I mean, the man looked pissed off when they qualified. You remember? Do you remember that video on Twitter?
Yeah,
where everybody's celebrating
or something.
And he's walking in with his headphones on.
He's frustrated.
You're doing that to that guy. He's frustrated. That's not on him. That's not on the teammates. That's not on everybody else. That's on Greg. That's on your man management skills. You've got to have this motherfucker primed and ready. In the theater world, you have a thing called swings, right? Or understudies is more appropriate. That's the guy or the girl or the person that studies several different positions. And whenever somebody goes out or is not available or what have you, they go in. Mm-hmm. It is equity mandated by the fucking union that you give them a put-in rehearsal or a put-in performance. And that means that you automatically take one person out and you put them in so that they can have real-life play experience in time, live experience in front of an audience in their position. I don't know if it's mandated for each and every one of the positions that they're understudying, but it is equity mandated so that if they go on and they fuck up, it removes all culpability of the organization. It's like, you've had the experience here. This is on Greg. Gio got about 10 minutes of experience. Not cool. Not cool. It's not on Gio this time.
I think you're right in that sense that he needed more reps, and you will not find a US fan out there that thinks Gio Reyna played enough in this World Cup. I will say today, I don't think he did really anything. I thought he was pretty ineffective. Looks like he came in centrally at first, and then he was like outright later in the game. I don't really know what was happening there, but if you would have told me when this World Cup kicked off that Shaq Moore was going to get more minutes than Gio Reyna, I would have laughed in your face. But that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. Are there any other positives for the U.S. in this one?
Any more positives? Potentially, last game we see Greg manage. Could kind
That's a
of chalk
positive?
that up as a positive.
Yeah, you could.
Just
It's a dub for sure.
I think an overarching positive is that knowing this is a lot of these guys' first World Cup,
Yeah,
them getting some experience on a big stage that's not some CONCACAF, little tea party fairy tale type bullshit, really should pay off, I think, come 2026. Because they'll know how to make it out of the group stage and what it means to do that and how much is at stake when they get to the knockouts.
Yeah.
Because it's a different game, as we had talked about in the beginning,
Yeah.
You put on a different persona for the group stage, and you really got to step it into a different gear for knockouts.
Yeah.
Agree.
Yeah, that's positive. And I asked everybody to comment if this was a dub for the US, if this was a successful World Cup. I mean, I would say yes. You didn't lose in the group stage against decent teams. I mean, Wales were horrible, but I mean, you know what I mean? Did your thing against England, and it was a decent performance today against the Dutch. People saying that they dominated the Dutch. I just don't think you understand what counterattacking football looks like. The Dutch, that was definitely part of their plan, was to let us have the ball.
It's what we did against England. We let their defense have the ball. They switched the game plan around on us.
Yeah,
we were like, you want to
they
facilitate from back there? Do it. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Man's 70 years old.
Yeah.
He'd been there, done that. He's seen this before. He's not surprised by anything that Greg Berhalter could have thrown at him.
Correct.
It was predictable. But I think it's great experience for the team.
It is.
I mean, look, when we talk about the other CONCACAF teams, it was a abysmal showing at the World Cup. And this is about CONCACAF's level. One team getting around 16 and losing. That's about the federation's level right there. So, I mean, I think it's a fair result in the end.
Which is the worst in the world.
It's the worst in the world, yes. It's the worst in the world.
Correct.
Which is crazy to say because I had zero faith in CAF making it anywhere.
Yeah. No, CAF, they did their thing. And now we'll see. I mean, Morocco's got a good chance. Senegal, I think, even have a boxer's chance as well. To catch England.
A boxer's chance. What a good turn of phrase.
It might be puncher's chance, but I can't remember. I'm
fighter's chance.
Yeah.
Fighter's chance, whatever. Y'all know what I mean.
Shooter's chance.
Do you think it was a good World Cup, Connor? Successful? I'll say successful, not good. Do you think it was successful?
Yeah. I think we played enough football. We played 90 minutes more football than our entire confederation. And I said if we score a goal, it's a positive. Even if it was a fluke of a goal, I would have rather have seen an open play goal. But I'll say I'm positive we found a game plan that seems to really work in that young stud Tyler Adams can captain a team. He can lead from the midfield. And if we get some more pieces around these guys, we've got a real threat. And, dude, we are just missing a couple pieces before we see Pulisic return to form for us. Like, I mean, if we get some guys that can distract from him, I feel like we could see some real production. And honestly, the balls on Weah to shoot from outside of the box, good for him. I'll be watching both of those guys with great interest. To get that, I don't know. Maybe I'm buying in too much to the fairy tale, but for Pele to fucking slide into his comments and be like, keep doing that. The man must see something. That man, I mean, don't talk shit to me. That man knows ball better than I do.
Yeah.
Pele.
Yeah, I think Weah had the most chances out of anyone. I thought Pulisic was quite selfish this game, honestly.
Yeah. Do you think he had a good World Cup overall?
No, but I don't think it was his fault.
I think
I would give it like a 6.5, 7. I thought he was dangerous.
C minus.
I mean, he got the dub against Iran.
I give B minus too.
You know,
I give B minus. A goal and an assist. I mean, I didn't expect more from Pulisic against
No,
good
but
teams.
also I don't know. I guess statistically that makes sense, but from what I saw, he physically cannot deliver any more than that. He tried his entire heart out, but I think that was he hit his ceiling there, and he himself brought himself down. In that he can't do anything else there without more help. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
He needs somebody to distract and take the pressure off of him so that he can thrive. Teams can effectively shut him down, and
he tries way too hard to put the U.S. on his back.
Yeah,
too often.
I mean, I think offensively, to a degree, this World Cup, there's an argument to be made that he did, though. And I just checked. It was I forgot this. It was his assist against Wales to Tim Weah. So he's got 1 goal, 2 assists. You literally cannot ask more of Christian Pulisic, in my opinion. So I'm gonna bump that to a B plus. I thought he was good. I thought he had a good World Cup.
I think the stats are too much. I think the stats are too much there. I'm gonna stick. I'll move from a C minus to a C.
What do you think? What'd you give him?
C plus. But it's not his fault. Again, I'm reiterating. He thrives in a different situation, different system. This is not on him. He played to the. If you want to go effort, A plus. Dude gave everything he had to give.
A B minus.
Okay. You guys let us know what you'd give Pulisic in the comments. I thought, I've always think he's just grossly overhyped. I think he's a good player, and I think there's always the Chucky Lozano versus Pulisic debate. I mean, if we're going off the World Cup, it's Pulisic. Chucky Lozano, I mean, he was trying, bless his heart, but he didn't get anything. And I don't want to take this whole podcast there, but my point being, offensively in that front three, I feel like Pulisic was the best. I know Tim Weah does get the goal, and it's a great finish, but I think he can be muted a little too often.
Yeah, he's not in the play as often as Pulisic is.
Look, if we have a 9, I feel like everybody steps it up. If we actually had maybe even Jordan Pefok here, then I think that unlocks Weah and Pulisic a little bit more. But we literally have no threat in the middle, and teams know that, like the Dutch, and here we are going home in the round 16.
I think there's a world where we could play something like a 4-2-4 maybe. I know I said that I don't know the answer, but like a 4-2-4 with like, I don't know, 2 guys up top to take the stress off of Pulisic and Weah. That maybe they drop back into like a midfield or maybe Pulisic and Weah pull in to like contribute into the midfield more. I don't know. Our midfield is our strongest, so I might just be talking out of my ass here, but like I'm just thinking scoring opportunities would be opened up for our wingers if more attention was attracted into the inside. Do you know what I'm saying? Like just tactically, I'm trying to make sense of this. That being said, we don't even have 1 9, much less 2. So I'm just thinking outside.
They were just left at home.
You're not talking about Ricardo Pepi, are you?
No, fuck no. I'm talking about DK.
Yeah. I would have rather. Yeah, I mean, DK, he's kind of a one-trick pony, I guess, but at least he's good at that one thing. You know what I mean? Like, I really don't know what Haji Wright is doing. I don't know what Ferreira's doing. If you don't give him 9 chances a game, he's not going to score. And we thought that was enough to make this final roster.
Ferreira doesn't score. You give him 9 chances this game? I don't think he scores.
What do we think about
maybe if you give him 9 one-on-ones, maybe
Tim Ream?
Yeah, we're thinking about Tim Ream.
I think it's criminal that he just starting here in the World Cup group stages. I mean, like, I don't know if he had a full year of qualifiers and friendlies up to the World Cup, I think he would have been that much better. And I think he would have solidified his place differently in the locker room, I feel like.
I think our team would have been better. Cameron Carter-Vickers might be starting. You know what I'm saying?
Instead of Tim Ream?
No, instead of
Zimmerman.
Because we saw their link up. Him and Vickers and Ream. Like, they have a good link up. Maybe Vickers starts. Maybe our defense as a whole looks more solid. And you know what? That's that many more months and weeks for Tim Ream to say, mark your fucking man on the outside. If we
Yeah.
get beat on this back post, I'm going to beat the shit out of you when we get into the locker room. It's that much more time.
Have you guys seen a lot of people mentioning John Brooks? Because I really haven't seen too much mention of him since Tim Ream got in the lineup.
Yep.
Haven't seen a lot of John Brooks. I see a lot of I feel overhype about Chris Richards not being here.
A lot of overhype about that, dude. It's kind of embarrassing.
Yeah.
I don't even know who that man is.
Is that a joke?
He's a sub for Crystal Palace.
Thank God. Yeah. No, he's a decent player, but like, let's just stop. I'm not letting you guys do this like you've done it to every single goddamn player in the starting 11. Like, leave the man alone. He's a child. Let him develop. Start talking about him when he earns it.
Yeah.
Not just, I don't care. He came up through the Bayern
He's
Academy. I don't
just
give
a
a damn.
boy. He's just a boy. Leave him
just a
alone.
boy.
No, like
Balls haven't dropped
I'm
yet,
protecting
dude.
this man. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I don't want any fucking pictures of Chris Richards and the US kid. Like, if we had this man, we'd be in the semis. No. The biggest problem in this team is goal scoring. That's the biggest problem with this team.
Yeah.
There are a lot of problems with this team, but the biggest one is where the goal's coming from.
Well, do we have any more problems to cover? Because your boy got a shower before I go and watch this Argentina game.
Let's give a letter grade to the World Cup, to the US World Cup overall, and then we'll call it. What'd you give it, Connor? Team
B+.
performance, B plus.
You know what? A-. I'll go A-.
Okay.
I'm pretty content. This is probably the most that I could have expected from them.
Okay. What about you?
I'd say B plus. I think I told you I would like to see a little more passion from the US players. You know, I didn't see any fucking tears.
It was a little soft, wasn't it?
I love seeing tears after games because that makes me feel that you actually care and you actually give a shit. I think, you know, I had them bowing out of the group stage and they made it past that. They beat my expectations, so it's kind of hard for me to give them anything below a B, you know, in my mind. I think it's a step in the right direction. And, you know, while I think I said earlier that I think an L against the Dutch hopefully will help us progress more in the future and highlight things that we need to work on. And hopefully the next manager can, you know, take that into stride.
Yeah.
And start preparing now for the World Cup when it's here in North America.
Drop
Agreed.
who you want to see as our next manager.
Yeah. Drop in the comments. Connor, I'm with you. I'll give it an A-, because I thought these boys were going to get third. They outperformed. They really showed some balls in that Iran game. We knew it was going to be tough. They came through, so they deserve credit for that. And I think they gave the Dutch a fight. And so for that, and with the problems that plague this team, they were able to overcome those and still get to round 16 and not get embarrassed. They did not get embarrassed today. They were beaten decisively. Tactically, they were beaten, but it wasn't embarrassing. And I have to give that an A-, especially with Greg Berhalter as the coach, some of the player selections, the fact Jordan Morris is on the roster, the fact Jesus Ferreira is on the roster, the fact that Shaq Moore is getting game time. It's an A-. I think they've outperformed. And like you said, Jake, the seed has been planted for 2026. We got some key guys who are either out of the team, they were injured, or they simply have not been introduced yet. I think the future looks really bright. I mean, especially, I'll say it one more time, when we look at the rest of these CONCACAF teams, they did nothing but get their ass beat by European teams. They did nothing but just get an ass spanking. Costa Rica just bodied. Canada did get bodied by Croatia, like absolutely exposed.
All 3 games I got.
Mexico couldn't beat a Poland team that couldn't score if they wanted to. It's just it's the level of the region, and I think everybody's looking internally like they got big question marks. Like Costa Rica, what is this next generation going to look like? Do they even have the players to continue? Who the hell is going to be the next Mexico manager? Who the hell is going to be in the midfield next to Luis Chavez? Canada, I just feel like that balloon got deflated a lot from these results. So
it's time.
But the US, we got a lot of positives. We got a lot of positives, especially compared to the other CONCACAF teams. So A-.
But there's a lot of work to do. Talk is cheap.
A lot of work to be done.
So I said this for Argentina. I'll say it for the United States too. Talk is cheap. We have 4 years worth of work to do. If the dialogue, it starts now, starts today on the bus ride home. On the bus ride home, this shit starts. If the dialogue in that locker room going forward for these next 4 years comes, oh, we got really close. We deserve to be there. We deserve to be there. No, you got to earn the right to be there. You've got a new coach. You've got to find a bunch of new youth prospects, develop them. I don't care where you get them, just find it. That's work that you got to put in, because if you guys show up and the skill level is the same, wrong. You did it to yourself, and you're disappointing a nation. If you want to keep growing the sport, Tyler Adams, y'all better get that, I don't know, get that stamina up, captaincy up. Tyler Adams should be shooting for captaincy at Leeds. After this performance here, he should be running his fucking boots off to prove to his American manager that he can captain some English guys. Can you imagine that? First American captain in the Prem?
Has he gotten a captain's in a game?
Not for Leeds.
Not for Leeds. Tim Bream's captain of Fulham.
Yeah, Tim Reed's captain of Fulham. Yeah.
Oh, he is. All right, never mind. I'll eat my words. Good for Tim. All I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I think the first American captain in the Prem was Clint for Fulham.
For Fulham, yeah.
Did he really?
Certainly
He wasn't
wasn't
permanent, but I think he had the armband for a few games.
Well,
I
my
can see
ball
that.
knowledge.
They like him. They liked him at Fulham. He certainly wasn't at Spurs. He just didn't get the minutes. But okay, cool.
Yeah.
I mean, the point still stands. Like, there's work to be done, and the potential is there. This team has the highest potential, I think, of all the CONCACAF teams. Now we just got to get a guy in here who's competent and can put it all together. Okay, guys, Connor's computer just crashed. So that means we've been doing this for way too long. If you're watching on YouTube and you enjoyed, make sure you leave a like on the video and hit the subscribe button if you want to see more World Cup content. US is out, but the videos are going to keep rolling out. If you're listening on streaming platforms, please give the podcast a 5-star rating if you enjoyed. We appreciate you guys for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode.